hi there, this is Achilles from Suncord Audiolab, Greece. I know it's been a while since I did my last tutorial, but hey, I finally have some free time and it's going to be a part 2 as well. I'm going to show you as many methods, possibilities or techniques I can think of right now. So let's get started. Just 40 seconds of audio today. These tracks come from a band I mixed and mastered a while ago. Their name is Usala, you're gonna love them. Great combination of rock and traditional elements. So we got a kick here, a kick drum, a snare drum, a dick mic that captures greatly the beater from the drum kick and the snare as well. The hose, which is an SM57 on a hose. It is more or less a room mic. Very interesting sound. Next we have the stereo stem of the toms, overheads, room mics, bass guitar, guitars. Next we have a medieval string instrument called the lute, and of course we get some vocals. So let's start with a rough mix so you can get an idea here in the mixer. We're starting off with all faders down in the mixer, which can be a small problem here in Cubase. As you can see, we have no visual information of what's going on with the input signals. That's because the default setting on the fader meters is showing the post-fader levels. And that's why I have a shortcut, Shift-I for input, and there you go, here's the input signal. That's the lute, guitars, kick drum, snare, dick mic, hose, toms, overheads, cymbals, room mics, bass guitar, heavy vocals, turn down this a little bit. Let's start from the beginning again. Wanna check the hose mic again. I love this mic. Let's get the cymbals just a little bit down. A little bit louder guitars. Cool, I think that's enough for now. That's a decent rough mix to start working, and let's go and see some parallel compression basics. So, when talking about doing things parallel, we are usually talking about mixing in between dry and wet signal, and that obviously means that we always need 2 copies of the same signal. One should probably be as it is, and the second one should be heavily processed. Since today we're talking about parallel compression, the best way to start off and see this visually as well is select the channel, duplicate it, leave the original track as it is, go to the dub, and compress the shit out of it. So here's our kick drum. Right click, duplicate, and here's the second channel, the one we're going to compress, and let's call it just parallel. As you can see, I like to have everything organized with photos and stuff. So right now we're just having some parallel levels, right? The two waveforms are added to each other. And that's why when we do things parallel, we always have to watch out for latencies or phase issues. As you can listen now, 10 milliseconds can really ruin your sound. A weird routing, a weird plugging, some output gear, a DI box when recording. Always be careful of latency or phase issues. So let's go here in our kick drum, the second kick drum. And let's insert a compressor. You know what? Let's just insert a multiband compression. Let's go hardcore. And I think I'll try to extract only the click from this kick drum. I think attack is the most important thing missing from the original kick drum channel. Okay, sounds good. And I'll insert an envelope shaper as well. I love the multiband envelope shaper by Steinberg. Check it out. I just cut out the release time and I'm now focusing on the attack and the decay time. And we're ready. Some filtering. Cool. Now let's try and mix those two. This is the original kick, right? And this one is the new kick. So, just as I said, we were focusing on the click of the parallel kick drum, and that's what we got. Alright, I think we had enough time with the kick drum. That was the first method, the duplicate method. Now let's move on to the snare drum, see something different. Let's directly insert a compressor into the channel. I love this vintage compressor by Steinberg, stock plugin. No threshold, just ratio selection, and you control compression by pushing the input level and pushing back the output level. So let's solo our snare drum. Now we're going to push really hard. This punch button right here gives a little bit of extra punch. It's something like the nuke button in the distressor or the all buttons mode in 1176. compressed and punchy as fuck right now. Fast attack, fast release. Now this knob right here is our parallel compression knob. You can mix in between the dry signal and the wet, so when it's full dry, it's like bypass, no difference. And when it's full wet, you can listen to the compressed signal only, right? So the thing with this kind of knobs, the blend knobs, is that it's like having two faders. So when you push up one of the two faders, the other one have to go down, and when you push down the other fader, the other one goes up. And that's why we call this the blend knob. Now, by playing with a blend knob, we can find a good balance between the overcompressed signal and the dry signal, so we can maintain some of the transients, and that way we can preserve a little bit of natural sound and avoid having a lifeless snare drum. Bypass. Alright, that's good for now. Let's go maybe see some other examples. Okay, let's try some parallel compression in our overheads channel. I'll insert a classic digital compressor. Makeup gain knob. Threshold. High ratio. Fast attack to compress those hits, the snare hits. Fast release for punchy sound. And focus on the peak levels instead of the RMS, since we have a percussive sound. Okay, we sucked the life out of it. Now let's focus on this knob, the dry mix knob. So what is different about this knob in contrast with the blend knob is that this one can actually add the input signal, which is the dry signal, to the output, which is the wet signal. So you can sum up and mix directly the dry signal to the output of the compressor. Now, at the same time, we have this knob here, which is the makeup gain knob, which obviously adds gain to the compressed signal, to the wet signal. So these two knobs, the makeup gain and dry mix knob, are the best friends for parallel compression. So you might have a little bit of more or slightly different control than the blend knob. Okay, I think we'll add some high self EQ as well. Alright, now let me just check the headroom, the peak levels in the master output. And okay, we're good. And I think we're going to try some parallel compression in the vocals as well. Nice. Let's move on to the vocals and try something different again. Let's try a tube compressor. That way we can maybe try to saturate a little bit the signal and push up some harmonics. Here's a blend knob again for the parallel compression. Input and output levels. Drive. Fast attack. Medium release. High ratio. Okay, let's listen. Let's experiment a little bit with a blend knob for parallel compression.
Μήπως βρεθήκα εγώ εδώ πέρα. Μήπως βρεθήκα εγώ εδώ πέρα. Που να τριγύρω κι ο ήλιος να χορεύει. Μήπως βρεθήκα εγώ εδώ πέρα. Μήπως βρεθήκα εγώ εδώ πέρα. Που να τριγύρω κι ο ήλιος να χορεύει.
Levels sound much more balanced now, and also vocals stand out quite better now in the mix. And let's move on. So I hope you enjoyed this one. There's going to be a part 2 as well. So see you soon. Or on the next click. Cheers.